Happy Halloween to everyone. We have a special show today. We have Sick Podcast Amble Show with Steelers Crazy. We got Mike and Jordan down there. I said Michael Jordan, Mike and Jordan down there. Of course, we have CJ and myself, Clyde. Welcome, everyone. How are we doing today?
Doing good. Doing fantastic.
Can't complain yet, man. On Sunday, I'm sure us Steelers guys will probably have some complaints, but for a couple weeks now, and you guys haven't been able to say the same. But you know how it goes. It's a long season, tides can turn. But excited to get into it with you guys.
That I agree. So before we do that, let's just go ahead and pay some bills. Chris, if you would, go ahead and do our sponsorship, and then we'll roll into the show.
Yes, sir. And on that note, NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? For me personally, it's the next one we're going to get. And because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sponsor, betting partner, or sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6sports. That's SICKSPRTS. All caps, no spaces for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In sponsorship or in partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right, man. I think what we should do before we get into our friendly clashing of, our teams, we just got to go with, how do you guys feel about your squad? Let's just talk about your squad, and we'll talk about our squad, and then we'll get into the game. So we'll kick it to you guys. How do you feel about the Steelers as they sit currently?
Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of talked before we jumped on here. It's kind of been like I think I tweeted it out today. It's feeling like a lot like another 9-8 season for the Steelers. It's just a roller coaster. Obviously, we're the city of champions. You walk into the facility, we say it time and time again, there's 6 Lombardis there. The standard is the standard, but unfortunately, for the past decade, it's just been mediocrity. So right now, I mean, there's a little bit of optimism. It's a long season, as Mike said. But, there's a lot of questions. I kind of like summed it up when I was talking to a few of my friends today and basically saying that it's like you get one side of the ball fixed, and then I think it's $163.3 million on the defensive side of the ball, and they're excuse my language, but they're just shit in the bed. And you got to play 4 quarters of football. The Steelers really haven't been able to do that. They either come out hot or last 2 quarters don't play at all. So I'm not really going confident into this game. I will say that I think it's a bigger game for the Steelers than the Colts, just because the Steelers are on a skid, so really need to snap that. But my optimism is probably at about 5 out of 10 right now for the Steelers victory.
Jordan, real quick, before we kick it up to CJ. So my question, and he kind of touched on it, $163 million on that side of the ball, and you guys are always known for having defense. I mean, that whole division,
Yeah,
what's going on with the Ravens as well. So what's your thoughts? Like, what's your main, I guess you say, your criticism, or what's the real issue with the defense, if you will?
I think on paper, they look great. I mean, they have, a lot of veteran guys on there, big name guys who are obviously on the tail end of their career. I think it goes back to the scheme of things. I think Terrell Austin should have been let go a long time ago. I think that they do have the talent, but if I'm being honest, I think that age is playing a factor. They got word that we lost Deshaun Elliott for the season. That's a big blow. He was just got the new contract, and was really showing signs of, bringing his defense together. Overall, you got guys like, I think it was a couple games ago, you got guys like Nick Herbig, who's a complete dog. He's out there for 10, 15 snaps. I just think that there needs to be a spark or just some change in schemes. At the end of the day, the players are going to get on and defend the coaches and vice versa. They're going to say, the players got to play. But coaching can win and lose games. And I think right now coaching is losing for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And what about the offensive side of the ball, Mike?
Surprisingly good. Jordan said well. It's honestly the most shocking start to a season for the Steelers in my 20-plus years as a fan and covering them. Because coming into the season, right, the biggest question I think for everybody, neutral observers, was, does Rodgers still have it? Can he play? Is the offensive line going to keep him healthy? Will he hold up his lack of weapons, right? Will they be able to, produce? The offense has been fine. They're really good. The red zone percentage has been great. They scored 25 last game, 33 the game before, dropped those games. So I think Rodgers looks great, and I'm shocked that this defense that's absolutely stacked has not been able to support him. And I'm sure he's shocked too, because I think that was a lot of leverage in bringing him to Pittsburgh, was the fact that, like, hey, okay, you know what? I was with the shitty Jets for a while. Now I get a chance to play under Coach Tomlin and a good defense. So the script is flipped, and he must just be absolutely staggered the same way we are. But I think we're going to get a high-scoring game, fellas. But you guys have been a part of a few of those, and so have we.
That's what's up. Well, CJ, and we talk Tuesday and Thursday all the time about, our squad, but bringing this to the collab show, like, what's your biggest surprise? What's your biggest take on the Colts thus far, and how we looking after, the first 8 weeks?
Just honestly, how consistently efficient the offense has been, despite who we're playing, right? Because, in 8 weeks, you're not going to play the same defense, I'm going to say, at all. You might play different variations of it, different formations, or the same formations, but it's always going to be a different look depending on personnel, depending on who's out there. And I think to this point, the offense throughout those first 8 games has looked the same. You've gotten the same type of output from Jonathan Taylor. You've gotten Daniel Jones, being as efficient as possible. I think when you're looking at this offense has been, despite having, Daniel Jones, who I gave a lot of hell, despite having, lots of it. But I gave Daniel Jones hell, and what he's doing right now is he's not just utilizing the weapons that he has in front of him, he's utilizing everybody. We've said many times we have 4 wide receivers who have very different skill sets. None of them are the exact same in any way, shape, or form. And yet Josh Downs has a great game. Michael Pittman Jr. has had a bunch of great games. Tyler Warren has played as consistent as you can possibly ask, and maybe even more than that for a rookie tight end. So, you have all that mixed into the fact that you have Jonathan Taylor running, historically running himself into the books in numerous ways. So I think the offense looking the way that it does and looking how it has both in the run and the pass to this point has been nothing short of impressive.
No, yeah. My own answer to that question is very simplistic. It's Daniel Jones. I don't care what anybody says in our fan base. We go back and forth all the time. I said this. There's a lot of narcissism now. I said this would look like this. Listen, I don't care what they're saying. Nobody expected Daniel Jones to play this well. And I'm glad that he is. And of course, I don't want to take anything from him, but that is the surprise. This guy is playing all world right now, and it's incredible to watch. Mm-hmm. So that's my take on that. But here, guys, within us in the recent years here, the Colts have gotten the best of you guys the last couple of years. I remember we talked to you guys a couple of years ago, and that was the first time we had won in years against the Steelers, just in totality. But that was always in Indy. The last 2 have been in Indy. This time, we're coming to your house. And so we haven't won there since, I believe we looked it up, 2008, 2009. And I don't know what it is about going to Pittsburgh. It's just not have been friendly. We've had lots of good games, or we should have probably come out on top, and then some collapse happens. But you guys have home field. So how are you thinking and feeling about this game? Is this a game to get you guys back into form after a tough loss last week?
You guys also, last couple of years, you took down Mitch Trubisky And
I knew you was gonna come with the smoke.
right?
I knew he was gonna come with the smoke. He stays with the smoke.
So a bit of a different story, right?
I got you.
But on the flip side, every time you guys struggled in Pittsburgh, for the most part, you're playing Big Ben, right? So
Facts.
it's the quarterback play, man. You guys know it. You just talked about it with Dan Dimes. You know, he has struggled against the Steelers in 2 matchups when he was with the Giants. So maybe there's a little bit of secret sauce that Coach Tomlin has, but he's never had the talent and the coaching around him, right, that he does now. Shane Steichen also owns Mike Tomlin. Going back to the Eagles, you know, just absolutely kicked the Steelers' ass multiple times when those two matched up. So, I'm anticipating a lot of points. I thought last week was the bounce back spot for the Steelers, right? They lose that tough one on Thursday night to the Bengals. Packers come to town, prime time, Rodgers revenge game, and they got busted. So I think everybody penciled this in before the season as like, hey, Colts coming to town. It's going to be a win for the Steelers when you're filling out your Sharpie schedules, and now I'm just not so sure. But listen, the 3.5 spread, I would be shocked if this were a non-competitive game. And you know, right now it might just be a team with who has the ball last wins, right?
All right. You got anything to add to that, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, it's like funny because like, you know, me and Mike text, you know, every day, but every Sunday, you know, and we'll go back and forth. And I think it was when we were playing in Ireland, the Vikings, and I think the Steelers, I don't know, they were up like 21-6. And I texted him and I'm like, this is the first time that I've watched the Steeler game and wasn't like up in my seat. If you ever seen that Madden meme when the guy gets up in his seat and he's kind of like looking in, you know,
gotta lock in, right?
So I'm like always like, or pacing back and forth in the living room, vice versa, whatever it may be. But what I was essentially getting at is the Steelers. I can't remember in recent history where the Steelers actually had like a game where they were in control the whole time. So I don't know if they're doing it for ratings. I don't know if they like keeping people's blood pressure up. Again, it just goes back to, I don't know what Steeler team's going to show up. They look like one team in the first half and then another team in the second half. I think I agree with Mike that it's going to be, you know, a high scoring game. I think that the Steelers know that this is, I really think this is a must win game for the Steelers personally, because as we watched last night on Thursday Night Football, Lamar Jackson is back. The Vegas still has, use our code 6sports DraftKings. Ravens are still picked to win, even with I think 5 losses, to win the AFC North. They're gaining momentum. They're getting healthy with Lamar back. This is just such a big game for the Steelers. I think it's bigger for the Steelers. So, but I have little to no optimism that we're going to pull it out. So,
I want to ask you guys before we get into predictions, because one thing that gets talked about ad nauseum is strength of schedule. And you guys, you got Cam Ward twice. You had some other teams mixed in there that you probably should have beat, right? You did, I should say, but on paper, you guys were a lot better. Is that something that concerns you? You can only beat who's on your schedule, right? So sometimes I hate that argument where it's like, I haven't played anybody. But is that something at the end of the day, you know, in the back of your head, you're like, okay, let's see what happens when the schedule gets tougher?
See, I was going to kick that to CJ, because I was going to actually ask, will this game count for us? Because, you know, that's what we hear every week. Like, so if we win this game, it's like, oh, well, you know, the Steelers defense isn't like what they're normally are. Like, because every week there's something brand new. So to that point, Mike, you know, that is a question that I wouldn't say it keeps me up at night or because you can only play who's on your schedule. And I've been making the argument all season. I mean, you go back to last year, the Eagles beat 8 sub-500 squads on their way to a championship. And there was a little bit of talk about that early, but once we seen how dominant that team was, that kind of like went to bed. So it's just like maybe because they have the roster that they had and they kind of got like a little reprieve, but the Colts here seemingly gets none of that. So my thoughts were, to answer that question, does this game count if we beat the Steelers? CJ, how you feel about that?
So it won't count in the media. It will count because it's a any given Sunday league, right? Because we know that, and like I said, you guys, Mike and Jordan, you can also attest to this. The goalpost is going to be moved for whoever it is, and we've seen that because we know that, you know, Josh Allen most talented quarterback, the guy who's in MVP talks. He got to play the Jets, Dolphins, and the Saints in 3 back-to-back games, and yet here we are talking about, oh yeah, well this doesn't count. I'm just like, okay, fantastic. Well, if that's the case, then every year, if you go to college, Ohio State should play University of Wyoming Culinary Institute, ICDC College in DeVry. Like, the crazy thing is, this is the schedule that you have. We know that every year you have certain opponents that you play according to division. It's an AFC South, it's an AFC team, NFC team, and then you have some like off kilter depending on where you land in division. So the way that you handle business is going to be what happens. Now, if we're being completely honest, we're not squeaking by in games like the Chiefs did last year when they were just beating these squads. We're literally winning and right now leading the NFL in points scored total for the season at 270. You're averaging almost 34 points a game. So you're not just going in and squeaking by teams that you can deem bad. You're going and you're facing these teams and you're beating them by a wide margin. You can't tell me that we have this thing with disparity because there's 32 teams. If it really feels like that, then just make it 16 teams, and then the other 16 you deem bad should just be G League teams.
It's like the NASCAR, the pace cars in NASCAR, right?
Yeah, just make it just make those other 6 teams developmental, and then start the playoffs in September. But like I said, we're playing these teams. Like I said, the way that the Steelers are viewed now, I think they're still viewing them as contenders. They're leading in their division, so you can't say that they're a bad team when you're leading your division. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, they need to stop with the caveats. It's all media stuff anyway. They just want Mahomes and Josh Allen to duke it out in the AFC Championship. And, I mean, if it's up to me, they won't. So,
yeah, I agree, man. There's a lot of built-in games currently now. Like, you got, for us, we have the Chiefs, I think Seattle, and you guys were circled as one. So again, I don't know how the media sees that now, but everybody kept saying when our tough games land, but the Texans aren't great. They were favored, to win our division to start. So does that count? That's what we do every week on our show. We kind of just counterbalance whatever the media says and whatever the haters in Twitterverse and everywhere else says, man. But in all honesty, you win every game is in front of you, and then you let the rest play it out. So I'm looking forward to this test. 2 reasons. A, because we can't win in Pittsburgh. And B, Danny Dimes will go up against, the defense isn't what it is, but I think that you guys still have players there. So this on paper is probably the better defense, the best defense we've seen thus far. Y'all defense by the names, TJ Watt, Ramsey, the other guys. I think you guys are the best defense we've seen thus far. So that's just my thoughts, man. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I think one thing that should not be the narrative if you guys win this game is that you beat a struggling Steelers team. I mean, this is a team, if they don't allow the Bengals to get a field goal final drive on that Thursday night, it's 5-2. That would be a 5-2 football team. And I don't think there's a whole lot of shame in losing to the Packers. I mean, they're the only other one-loss team in the league right now. They're a drive away from being a 5-2 football team. So what I hope doesn't happen is if you guys come in and win, that, this is the flawed team they beat. I do think it would be a good win against a team that I think has playoff hopes.
Yeah, strength of schedule definitely plays a part in these arguments. But like I say all the time, like, it's not college football. We're not going to say who is voted into the 12 when it comes to the playoff at the end of the year. Like, you have to play your way into the 14. So ultimately you win every game in front of you. And I get tired of that. Like, we'll see if the Colts are for real when January comes around. Well, if you don't win in September and October, who cares about January? What I'm saying? So that's been my argument all day, the whole time, the all season, man. But it is what it is. So I guess we can kind of shift it a little bit. And I don't know, do we have a time in mind? I don't know if Sammy told us a time, like how long we were going. I know you guys. You look like you're on vacation, Mike. So
always on vacation. He lives in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at you and Clyde, vacation guys. It's just like, me and Jordan, we're just over here just chilling at home, and then here Clyde goes, booking the next thing on Expedia.com. Like, what are we doing?
I'm currently in my loft right now, so
Germany. That's
my loft. Look at this guy.
Well, no, you listen.
Money bags over
game.
here. I'm in my loft. I'm sorry that I have to be around the pores. Like, knock it off.
No, look, he said, look, the Germany game that was circled, man, because I had such a blast last time we played in Frankfurt. And if you guys have never been to an international game, of course it's football, but it's so different to be immersed around, the Europeans who love football, and they don't care who's playing, bro. You, like you said, you go to a Steelers game, it could be Steelers and Vikings, and somebody's gonna show up in a Ravens jersey, a Bills jersey. They're like, football. So it's just a cool experience. So I'm definitely looking forward to Berlin. Plus all the history that's there too. So it's playing.
I'm ready.
In Olympic Stadium.
You wanna hit some predictions?
Yeah, let's do that, man. All right, well,
revolving door. Whatever.
All right, cool.
On.
So I think that I said last night. I think that I said it's gonna be 30-21 Colts. And to me, that really depends on how we play. And I think that's the test each and every week. You go out and you do your best stuff, but can you win differently? And I feel like ball control is something that we haven't shown a lot of because we score so fast. And, a lot of times we get ahead and teams are, getting all these garbage time yards on us and stuff. So I would like to see us, kind of slow it down, have very methodical drives, eat up some clock, and see if we can win that way. So 30-21 is my thought, especially on the road. See if we can get your crowd out of it. The terrible towel is very hard to defeat. So you don't want to get behind and that thing starts whipping around and it's like the world's against you. So that's my thoughts, 30-21 in a methodical game. He said around the horn. So CJ, what you got?
Well, I mean, I said it last night. I think we end up taking that game 31-17. For me, it's this Steelers team I think is very uncharacteristic of Steelers teams we saw before. We know that previously it was a team that was led by defense. Generally, the rushing attack was there, and then the quarterback play was like kind of complementary. Whereas I think like more recently, like you guys have went more towards, I'm going to say, the passing attack, and then the run game not necessarily being as complementary because, like I said, I don't know like rank wise, but I know you guys this year, like from what I've seen in games that we've watched, it's just like the rushing attack is just not really there. So, I mean, for me, I feel like we'll still be able to score and we still should score, given, like I said, where like that defense is. I think it's just like this is the most points per drive that you guys have given up since like 2008 this year. So, I mean, for me, I think that we're still going to be able to go out there and I'm going to say maybe just like be able to dictate offensively. But yeah, so like I said, I can see it being 31-17 for us.
Fine 90 though. Despite any of that, I don't care. 90 Rex games, so block him at all costs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, but you know what? He's won against Braden Smith numerous times, and I think it's just like he's actually been able to handle himself fairly well. So
yeah. Okay. All right, Jordan, what you got, boss?
Yeah, so, I hate to do this, covering the Steelers and a Steeler fan, but I am not picking them to win. I just think that, until the defense shows me otherwise, I think that it will be a competitive game, but I think in the end, the Colts are going to come out on top. I'm going to go 30-24 Colts.
Okay. Oh wow, we're getting the other side on our squad. We like that, Jordan. All right, Mike. I feel like you gonna stand on business for your squad. What you got, man?
You know what's interesting? I'm almost tempted to pick the Colts now because if we throw the clean sweep out there,
look at
that. Really nervous.
It's like a CBS panel, right?
True.
Right, exactly.
Get the little logos out.
You hate seeing all the logos on one side, no doubt about that. But listen, I have absolutely zero confidence in the pick. However, I am going to go Steelers. And listen, I'm taking X and O's out of it a little bit here. Somehow, some way, as Jordan was talking about blood pressure and being on the edge of his seat, Mike Tomlin always finds a way to just hang around, right? Like, it just feels like one of those games where nobody expects them to win. They're struggling defensively. Ball's not bouncing their way. And somehow they pull this out, and everybody's kind of like, all right, are the Steelers back? You guys are going to absolutely try and run the ball at will against us. You've done it, to everyone so far. We're going to, I think, do a decent job of stopping the run. We beat up Josh Jacobs last week. It's just, can Danny Dimes continue to make enough plays down the field to beat a banged up secondary? I think they force a couple of turnovers, which really will be the swinging point of the game. I'll go Steelers 27, Colts 26, but I don't feel good about it.
One thing before we get out of here, I would like to ask this. Like, I know it's kind of the mid-season of everything. Like, if things continue on this trajectory for the Steelers, which, you know, like you guys are kind of said is not very optimistic, is Mike in trouble? He's the most tenured coach in the league currently, right? Or is he even he's the most tenured coach?
No, I think so, because Andy Reid didn't go to KC until like 2010, I think.
Right. So yeah, that's what I meant. Like as far as like one squad.
He is
Pretty sure.
in sports the longest.
Oh, there you go.
All,
okay.
All four major. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he's in trouble though if this is not, you know what I mean? You think he's still Jordan says no, Mike says
I mean, he hasn't been in trouble. I just think that, to be quite honest with you, that I think that the Steelers, you look at so many other organizations around the NFL and, you know, I mean, take the Browns, for example, not to compare to Steelers to the Browns, but I mean, they've had 14 new coaches in the past, whatever. I think that the Steelers pride themselves on, you know, the consistency of it, and then, you know, they'll figure out a way, but I don't know what way. You know, if 9-8 is your ceiling every year for the past decade, I think that you have to be on some sort of hot seat. But I just feel like that, like, truthfully, I really don't think that Mike Tomlin's going anywhere. Like, if I was to put a bet in, you know, would he be gone if the Steelers go 9-8? Absolutely not.
I think the seat will be really hot. I actually do, and because of the way it's happening, defense is his base, their highest paid defense in the league. To bring in Rodgers, the offense to play well. The only thing they needed to do, be a top 15 defense, right? And you probably win the AFC North. So because of the way it's happening, when he's you know, one of the best defensive minds in football, I think that's why his seat should be really warm. And who knows, could be one of the biggest offseason surprises if he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, you guys have been very, very loyal to your coaches. You only had 3 coaches in the last 40-some years.
Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's insane. So to even hear that type of, you know, like roster from you guys, like, yeah, we don't turn over our guys. You know, I didn't think that he was, but I just kind of seen some news on not news, but just chatter like, hey, it's time for Mike Tomlin to go, like in the Twitterverse. And I'm like, I don't believe that. So I'm gonna ask the guys who I think know more because you guys are embedded with the squad. So yeah, that's all I needed. But you guys have any last, you know, things before we get out of here?
No, good luck on Sunday. That's it. May the best win. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a game, but we're lucky to be able to, you know, cover the Steelers as well as you guys, the Colts, for the Sick podcast. So just grateful to be able to do everything, and everyone who views us and engages with us on social media. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you guys,
what are they? Oh, go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
Like a lot of brats, a lot of some German beer. What are you gonna go?
Hey man, listen, German food is not the greatest. German cuisine is just not my thing. So I'll probably be drinking more than I'll be eating over there. I'll have a schnitzel just because I do that every time, but I'll be on the Weifen, however you say it. Weizen or whatever, the Weizen.
It sounds like you were having an asthma attack.
You got to say it and you got to mean it. You know what I mean? You got to mean it when you order that thing over there. So I'll probably be on that because it's strong. Good stout beer. So that's what I'll be doing, man. But hopefully I won't pack on too many pounds. So we'll see how it goes.
Enjoy yourself. Best of luck, guys. Thanks for doing this. We'll do it
absolutely,
again.
Man.
I appreciate y'all.
All right, well, Sammy, go ahead and take us out.